Good evening. Since the beginning of time, humans have asked big questions. Where do we come from? How old is the world? And how was the universe created? Many of the early peoples of Earth invented religion to satisfy such curiosities, and that tradition continues still. However, I would like to present a few things that science has discovered relating to these questions, all through means of rigorous testing and observation. Now, we have all heard of the Big Bang. It is a theory which describes the beginning of our universe when all matter and energy was concentrated to a single point, before exploding out into space and settling into what we see now. I intend to defend this theory by presenting a few notable discoveries which have fueled scientific confidence toward the Big Bang. Firstly, I would like to mention Hubble's law, which proves that the universe is expanding. In fact, everything in the universe is moving away from each other. You can compare this to a raisin cake in the oven. As the dough, being space, expands, the raisins, being galaxies, grow further apart. This is a very important law because it implies that if you turn back the clock, everything was once together at a single point in space, roughly 14 billion years ago. Secondly, if you remember from my first speech that light has a finite speed, then you will understand that everything in the night sky is actually a past version of itself. The light we see from objects actually left that object years, centuries, even millennia ago. Because of this, we can see the very first stars of our universe. Well, this is great because first generation stars are very different from modern stars like our sun. Because heavier elements are created within the star over billions of years, the very first stars, different from our sun, should only include the two lightest elements, hydrogen and helium. This is supported through observation as astronomers look at the very edge of the observable universe. And this also supports the timeline created from Hubble's law. Lastly, I would like to introduce the most convincing piece of evidence. In the early 60s, physicists began to wonder if the Big Bang could have left residual radiation, something that would be uniformly present across the universe, probably something very subtle, as the event did happen billions of years ago. Now, at the same time, there were two radio engineers working at Bell Laboratories who were recently put in charge of the world's most sensitive radio telescope. When they tried to calibrate the machine, they found that no matter where they pointed it, they still picked up a faint hiss. It nearly drove them crazy until they heard about the new idea from the cosmologist. It turns out that they had actually found the smoking gun. They had found the Big Bang. In fact, you have probably heard the exact same hiss before. Can you remember when you removed the cable cord from your television? It created a lot of static and white noise. Well, up to 50% of that white noise is your TV picking up the Big Bang radiation. In conclusion, I've only mentioned the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Big Bang evidence. Nearly the entire scientific community supports the theory, even though we can't observe the event itself. Oftentimes, people refer to scientific theories as if they are lesser than scientific laws, but this is not the case. The only difference between theories and laws is that theories cannot be directly observed, and that a law, like gravity, can. Perhaps one day we can definitely prove the existence of the Big Bang, but for now, we'll have to settle for plain logic. Thank you.